It's a great day here at KEKFILA's YouTube channel. I am your host, KEKFILA, and today I'm bringing you game 2 out of 6, my local series. You can always just skip to the gameplay and the timestamps. However, I wanted to let you know there will be a giveaway. And for this local series, this will start from the previous video as well. For each comment you leave, you'll be entered in one per video. So I guess you can get a total of 6 entries. And I'll do a giveaway of a fake Robin mat, which is, the fake Robin I want to die, which is just here. And I will announce the winner on my Pasadena review video trip. By the way, I am going to Pasadena this weekend. If you see me, come up and say hi. I'll let you know what I'm wearing. Just follow my Twitter and you'll see what's going on with that. And yeah, if you did want to get these mats sooner, you can also go to Kid Robots Etsy. It'll be down in the description below, and use the promo code KEKFILA for a 5% discount. And that's how you kind of support me, guys, by, just buying these things or leaving comments, likes, and subscribes. I'm addicted to subscriptions. So without further ado, let's get into the goo. All right, now we are on with the video. I go second. I lose a die roll against a kid here, and it looks to me like he decides not to do anything on turn 1. I don't do anything on my first turn, so on 2 dawn. And he swings 5 at my leader. I decide to take that one, and he places down that juicy Usopp and passes turn. I swing 5. Now he's down to 4 life. And with that, now I just think here for a moment, do I want to play a card to combat his field, or do I want to combat it now? Because I think I have 2 3,000 worlds in hand. So I decide just to use it right now to get rid of it. I have another one in hand. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I want to use this now to do anything. And on my 6th dawn turn, I'll play my 3 cost and use Dofi skill, something like that. So he was kind of surprised. I was like, yeah, it's fine. He swings 6 at me. I take it with no trigger. So now I'm down to 3 life. And then he pays forwards to play a simple Zoro. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the Brook. Brook is bananas. And essentially, I play down my 3 cost Doflamingo. This is pretty textbook for me. On 6 dawn turn, you'll play the 3 cost. And then you'll stack the deck in a way where you'll play this out and play down the Bartholomew Kuma from the top of the deck. And I pass turn. This game's going pretty quick. I kind of edit it like that, but I did want to say I have this new camera angle. I'm working on it. I think next time I'll choose a better place that has better lighting because there is too much glare. And with the gooseneck, I need to adjust that. Maybe by something different. So yeah, he swings at the Kuma. I do have a pacifist in hand. I give him a 1k counter because he's going to swing with a Zoro anyway, probably at it, and I'd rather not counter out the 2k. So that's why I chose to do it that way. And then he places down a Nami. He uses Nami's skill. He unfortunately whiffs. And then he places down an Usopp. And he's building a big field, but he's losing a lot in the hand game. I know he's down to 3 life because I have nothing else to do. But essentially, I'm on my 8th dawn turn. I can kill this thing. So I go 6, first of all. I need to get a card out of his hand. I get an Usopp, and I patch 3. I go 8 at that, paying 1. I play down a Gecko Moria, and I grab the Kuma, add that back to my hand, and he just lets it go because that's going to cost him 2 cards. So I then pay 4. I decide to bottom deck the Nami. Since he seems to be lacking a little bit in hand, this will overall really, really hurt him pretty big because you're not able to search for certain things. And now the unfortunate thing is he is on... He didn't play his 7 cost on a 7 dawn turn the previous turn, so I have time to Mihawk here, but good news for him on his 9 dawn turn, he just swings 5, I counter out, swings 5 again, I counter out, and then he attacks 6. I'm like, oh shoot, no, he killed both of my characters. Oh, it's so frustrating with the Krieg. Krieg is such a good card. And places down a Nami. I think he didn't have enough time to use Nami's skill, but He gets the body out there regardless, and getting rid of 2 of my bodies while discarding one of his cards is pretty juice. So now we go to the next turn. I have my blocker here. I place this down. Now I have 2 blockers, so we can't do too much shenanigans. I swing 7 at Usopp. And actually, a small thing that happened here is he actually took a life instead of letting the Usopp die. We talked about it with ourselves and with the judge behind us, and they said, take that life, put it at the bottom, top card goes to life. That's what they did. We got it fixed. There's no issue. I call that card on the top of my deck. I played down a Boa Hancock, so I used all 7 Dawn by using that. And, you know, he starts with the Nami skill. He looks at top 3, and he does grab out a 2-cost Chopper. And I decided to let that go for the 5 cost. Again, my hand is pretty limited here. I only have 3 cards in hand. I would have played down a Mihawk if I had one the previous turn, but I don't. And then I obviously block out of the double attack, and he swings 5 at lead. I decide to take this one. I declare no trigger, and he decides to play 7, playing down the Luffy and using that to combo into a Zoro. So his board's looking pretty good, but his hand's really limited, and that's going to generally just affect him in this really, really long game of things. I had some editing here where I actually swung for 7 and used skill. He discarded a 2k to counter out of that Krieg. I swing 7 again at that Krieg. I'm just getting another 2k out of the hand for a 7 attack. And I'm like, well, I'm going to swing with Boa Hancock, and I'm going to draw a card off of that. And Krieg is now dead because I guess he doesn't have a 2k in hand anymore. He doesn't want to use the blocker. I play down another blocker here, and essentially I just want to be able to restack the deck. Unfortunately, I haven't really seen a Mihawk, and playing a Mihawk now wouldn't be too bad. But my field's so wide. This Boa Hancock has already drawn me 2. Oh, I guess actually the first card it's drawn me. So it's already drawn me 1 card, and my opponent's just limited. He only has 2 cards in hand. He has the Nami, so he's going to be able to look at the top 3 cards and add 1, but he unfortunately whiffs. Again, that does happen. And I give him a 1k counter with a form of a Perona. He swings 5, probably at the Boa. And I give him a 1k. He swings 7, most likely at the Boa. I just discard a blocker, and he places down an 8-drop Kid. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I think here for a while, I want to play a 9-cost Mihawk, but it might be too slow. So I edit this a little bit. So I start with actually a 6. A 6 at the Zoro character, and he just gives me a 1k counter, right? He usually gives me the Brook. And I decide to go 7 now at that, paying 1. And I do have a Doflamingo on top of my deck. I stack it in a way which I prefer it. And I still have a beautiful lot of Dawn here to work with. And all I really care about is I just want to clear out all these characters and then kill him. I don't need to worry about 8-drop Kid, especially he doesn't have all that. I put my cards on top of my drop zone, not my life. But he lets the Zoro go. After I finish that resolve skill, I put my blocker over there. I swing 7k at the Nami, and I draw a card. He has to either block it or let it die, and he's probably going to let it die. And he lets it die. I decide to end turn with 5 Dawn up. 2 blockers active. I'm honestly over communicating in all these games. I say I have 5. I play with these alternate Dawn, so people get confused. So I make sure it's very clear. I have 5 Dawn up, 5 cards in hand, 2 active blockers. I'm over communicative about this, and that's just, it's my nature, honestly. So my opponent draws for turn. He has a very limited hand here. He drops and he swings 9, most likely at my leader. And I decide to maybe at the Boa, actually. But I decided to give him a 1k and use my Love Mellow because I have the Dawn. Why not use it? And he's only gonna attack twice anyway. So he does that. I draw a card. I have 3 Dawn active, and he decides just to use as much as he can. He throws 6 Dawn. He goes 11, most likely at my leader. It could be my Boa, but I have too many blockers. Right, so with that, now he thinks here for a moment. What does he do? He has 3 active Dawn. he has the 7 drop with the blocker. And how does he pressure me in any way? So he thinks here for a moment, and he pays 3 and just plays the Usopp and then passes turn. I then just reset everything back up. And again, my board's huge. I don't need to call over any of these cards. So I first start with 8 at the kid, so the kid's gone. And unfortunately, I can't play a 9 drop at this point. I go 6 at lead. I want him. I need him to rest this Luffy. I go 6 at lead again. 6 at lead, I do draw 1. So I put him in a hard situation. I want him to block with this Luffy. So he doesn't block with it, takes damage, and I go, okay, I still want you to block, so can you please block? I decided to swing 5. I swing 5 at him. He does block it now. And I go 7 Dawn on my 4K power, so he does 11. I go 11K at the Luffy. The Luffy's dead. And I have 1 active blocker. I think I have... this bow has drawn me so many cards this game. So, and I have no active Dawn, however. My opponent, you know, he's just kind of waiting for the end of the game, basically, at this point. And we go to this transition here. And essentially, he thinks it through a little bit. He puts, I believe, 1 Dawn on Usopp and swings at me. I just counter out of it. He swings 7 with his leader. I also counter out of that. And he just pays 7 for the Luffy. And I could just end game here, essentially. I just throw all the same cards I had out, back out there. And I could, you know, generally just swing 5s. But I know Pump Gibson might come out alive. So I swing my biggest card first. I'm like, it's Pump Gibson. It's not a Pump Gibson. I'm like, that's unlucky. So I then go 7. He blocks, and he has no counter in hand. And that's all the game really was. And thank you, everybody, for watching the game. Remember, there is a giveaway, so leave a comment. Maybe something you liked about this, something constructive, unconstructive, destructive, whatever's clever. So, again, I will be in Pasadena this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so please come up to me and say hi. See you in the next video. Ciao.